Pope Francis has died today, marking the end of an extraordinary papacy that has left a profound impact on the Catholic Church and the world. At 87 years old, Pope Francis's passing brings to a close a chapter of bold reforms, compassionate leadership, and at times, intense controversy. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Argentina, Pope Francis was the first Latin American pope, a historic milestone for a region home to 40% of the world's Catholics. His election in 2013 was met with both hope and curiosity, as he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, humbly asking the crowd to pray for him. From that moment, it was clear his papacy would be anything but ordinary. Francis redefined the role of the Pope, pushing the Church toward inclusivity, dialogue, and mercy. He broke with tradition, choosing simpler garments, shunning the luxurious papal apartments, and emphasizing service over ceremony. His focus on climate change, social justice, and compassion for the marginalized won him admiration from millions, but also sparked fierce opposition from conservative factions within the Vatican. But now, the Catholic Church stands at a crossroads. The news of Pope Francis's death has sent shockwaves through the Vatican and beyond. The bells of St. Peter's Basilica have tolled, and the ancient rituals of mourning have begun. Crowds have already gathered in St. Peter's Square, many in tears, others in silent prayer, all awaiting the formal announcement in the traditions that will follow. The Vatican has confirmed that the funeral rites will follow the ancient protocols, beginning with the Novum Dies, a 9-day period of mourning. The Pope's body will lie in state, allowing the faithful to pay their respects. Soon, the College of Cardinals will convene to plan the conclave, the secretive gathering in the Sistine Chapel where they will elect the next leader of the Catholic Church. And that brings us to the crucial question, what happens next? Pope Francis's death leaves a vacuum not only of leadership but of ideology. His progressive reforms, advocating for a more inclusive church, addressing climate change, and calling for economic justice, have deeply reshaped the Catholic Church. The upcoming conclave will be pivotal in determining whether his successor will continue his mission or shift the Church back to a more conservative stance. Will the Cardinals elect someone who carries forward Francis's vision, embracing modernity and reform? Or will they pivot, choosing a leader intent on restoring traditional values, resisting the changes Francis championed? This moment is not just a transition of leadership, it is a battle for the soul of the Catholic Church. Political currents within the Vatican will undoubtedly influence the conclave. Conservative cardinals who oppose Francis's progressive approach may now push for a successor more aligned with their views. Meanwhile, those loyal to Francis's vision will fight to preserve his legacy. But beyond Vatican politics, millions of Catholics around the world are now grappling with grief and uncertainty. Many admired Pope Francis for his compassion, humility, and courage to challenge centuries-old traditions. Others saw his papacy as too radical, a departure from the Church's doctrinal roots. His death now reignites these debates, making the upcoming conclave one of the most consequential in modern history. As the world watches, the process to elect a new pope will unfold behind closed doors, ancient rituals mixing with modern expectations. The cardinals will cast their ballots, and once a decision is reached, white smoke will once again rise above the Sistine Chapel, signaling that the Catholic Church has a new leader. Until then, the world mourns Pope Francis, a man who sought to build bridges, embrace the marginalized, and steer the Church into the 21st century. His death marks the end of an era, but also the beginning of a new chapter for the Catholic Church. We want to hear your thoughts. How will Pope Francis be remembered? Do you think his successor will continue his legacy or take the Church in a different direction? If you found this discussion meaningful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your engagement helps us bring you thought-provoking content about the stories shaping our world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.